right, welcome everyone to the Clocked Out podcast, where people from all corners of the service industry come to tell their stories, air their grievances, and just have some fun. I am one of your hosts, Jared. I'm with my co-host, Carter. Carter, how we doing?
Doing pretty good.
Cheers, mate. What are we drinking today?
This, I believe, is Kentucky bourbon.
Basil Hayden's,
Basil Hayden's.
Doing a little Johnny Walker Black.
It's a good sipper.
Before we introduce our guests, giggling over there on the other side of the table, brief backstory. Carter and I used to work together. We met, that was like already 3 years ago, which is crazy.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like that since I only work 1 day a week. Which is another thing, like especially with the content that I post, people always like, some of my really good friends will message me and they'll be like, oh yeah, you're a full-time bartender, right? I'm
right.
Like, nope, maybe 8 hours a week if I clock out late.
Tops.
Tops, yeah. But we met, I was a bartender, he was a line cook, and I'm still at that same bar, which is the Burger Dive and Smack Shack in the Rosedale Mall. We were probably looking about the same time for jobs, because I know Roseville closed a little bit during COVID. I don't know if you were a part of that.
Yeah, it was just about coming around, starting to. I mean, I did bartend there first.
Oh, no way.
Essentially,
what?
yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know that either.
So you can make me drink.
I certainly can, but...
Go make me a drink. I'm out.
Well, I'm not yet. So I got fired from Burger Dive as a bartender.
Yo.
I didn't know the owners at the point.
That's huge. That's huge.
And I didn't really know... I mean, they knew my mom and my sister, and I believe Cassidy wasn't old enough to bartend yet, so she was just a server, and my mom was bar manager.
Right.
Okay.
And she was like, well, why don't you come to the mall? Like, I'll train you, we'll figure it out. And it was going pretty smooth until the owners came in, and it was only two of them. I won't drop any names or anything,
Yeah.
I was back there wearing sweatpants and like a long t-shirt, just not looking like a bartender at all. I had really long hair at that point.
How long?
So I'd like probably down to here. Like
Nice.
it was
Bad.
Okay.
bad. It was really bad.
Okay, so they've never gone to a dive bar, is what we're saying.
But the thing was we were kind of still just getting back up from COVID, so they wanted things to look pretty. They wanted, I mean, I could have gotten a haircut and fixed up my act and everything, but they sat there. A lady came up and, I gave them beers. I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
A lady came up and she was like, I want a margarita. And I was like, we don't make those here.
Oh.
In front of the owners.
Oh, no.
Because in my mind, I wasn't really that much into cocktails. Like, I had shots and, like, Fireball and, like, Svedka. Like, that was pretty much my only things. Or, like, a random stolen beer from the parents here and there. So I imagined putting it into a blender.
Right.
And I didn't know.
Margarita.
I thought it was a frozen margarita, and I thought that was the only kind of margarita.
That's the only margarita.
So I was like, no, we don't serve those here. I can get you a beer, though. And they went back, and they talked to the kitchen manager at the time, and they're like, who the fuck is running my bar right now?
Oh, no.
Okay.
And I was like, ugh. I didn't have a job the next day.
That's
but they ended up taking me back.
Yeah. But now it's
Cooking. Cooking.
Yeah.
But that ended up being I mean, I learned very quickly that I'm not the server type. I can
Fair
be.
enough.
I'm an actor. I've been an actor, and it's not the same thing.
Just
It's
not
not on a
acting
stage.
as a bartender.
No.
And you're over at Earl Giles now, which
Yep. That's it's over in Northeast Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's a great spot. And you're doing line work over there, right?
I do line work 1 day a week right now,
Nice.
but mostly prep chef.
But we are here with two guests today. We're starting off with two, and these two ladies really wanted to be one of the first guests, or two of the first guests on the pod, and they are the two first guests.
Yes.
We're here with Hannah and Taylor. Welcome, ladies. How are we doing?
Great.
Fantastic.
Taylor's alone. It's fine.
No, I'm fine.
It's okay. We're not live, so.
First interview jitters.
Right. Taylor and Hannah work at Black Coffee Waffle Bar, which is a great spot, and they have, you closed one of your locations, so how many brick and mortar locations do you even have in the cities now? 2?
Well, we have two. Well, yeah, we have two in the Twin Cities, and then we have one in Fargo,
nice,
North Dakota. And then
shout out Fargo.
Yep. Shout out Fargo. And then in Minneapolis, we just rebranded to one of our other.
Oh, that's right.
So we sell Vitality roasting like coffee beans. Yeah. So we just changed that to a Vitality Cafe.
That's right. Okay.
Yep. So we just rebranded.
Nice. But they also have a booth in the Rosedale Food Court. So that's where all four of us met. And here we are now in my one-bedroom apartment, huddling around the table, and we're all a little tipsy. So this seems like a great time to talk about the service industry. Cheers. Yes.
It all has to start somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cheers to that.
Oh, I love that. I think it's funny, like, not funny that you're nervous, but like this is going to be a very, in general, not serious podcast, especially because we're in the service industry, so we don't take our lives
which is generally not super serious.
The most unserious.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not too nervous. I'm nervous as to what I'm gonna say. Actually.
Right. So thankfully we are not doing this episode live.
Yeah, no. It's good. It's good. I'm nervous, on how unhinged I'm gonna go. We'll see.
I'm just hoping, this is my hope for you today. So when I recorded the first episode of my Marvel podcast I'm also trying to do, we recorded a little over 2 hours. And after that, it took me like 16 hours, I think, to edit the frickin' thing.
Yep.
So just don't make me spend more than 16 hours editing the video with all of the stuff that you say or the stuff Jared, take me out.
You chose the wrong guess. You chose the wrong guess, Jared.
We'll see. This is episode 1, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, by the way, we're going to call this episode Double Trouble. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
I had a couple other...
On both sides of the table.
Yeah. Oh,
it's trouble all around.
I had a couple other working names around that theme with you two in mind here. We had Hoot and Holler, but I was like, we have to decide who's Hoot and who's Holler, and you're both very loud, so it's,
Period.
Same with Fine and Dandy, that's kind of fitting too.
Double Trouble is,
How long have you two been in the service industry? Did you start at Black Coffee Waffle Bar? Did you go elsewhere? What's your journey?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Well, I've kind of been in the service industry most of my life because my parents bought a coffee shop in my hometown when I was like 7, and then they had a restaurant for a few years also. So I've basically been working for my parents like since I could, essentially. And so I've kind of always been around it and in it because I worked at the coffee shop obviously when I was in high school, and then I would come home in the summer in college and work there. So yeah, I've always
done it.
It's always been there.
Your hometown is where again?
Siren, Wisconsin.
Oh wow.
Yep, very small.
I was gonna say
my grandparents lived there.
Yeah, her grandparents lived there, which we didn't know until after we met. Yeah. So that was a whole nother thing, which is pretty crazy.
Wisconsin, I don't even think I know where that town is.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm going to my grandparents this weekend, and she was like, where? And I was like, northern Wisconsin, you wouldn't know. And she's like, Siren, Wisconsin. And I was like, huh?
How do you know that?
And I was like, yeah, like northern, western Wisconsin. She's like, Siren. And I was like, she's like, I grew up there.
She's like, how do you know where Siren is? I was like, how do you know where Siren is? I grew up there.
It was crazy. Anyways, but
population like 800. Very small.
Okay. Wow.
Small town. Yeah.
There's probably more people in this apartment building.
Truly. Yeah. Quite literally.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's Hannah and her journey. What about Taylor? Taylor, what's your journey been like?
For my work experience, I kind of was like retail, then I went to college, had like a marketing communications like degree kind of experience and like internship. Then couldn't find a job after COVID, then had a quarter life crisis.
Period.
Couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, couldn't find a job. Then I was like, I need to figure out what I want to do with my life. And I also didn't want to know, like, I didn't know what I actually wanted to do because I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this. So then I was like, let's be a barista. And I remember in high school that place was like the trendy spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Black Coffee and Waffle Bar, because I lived like up north, like St. Michael, Albertville. I don't know if you know that. But that was the trendy spot, and I was like, oh, let's be cool. And yeah, and I tried to apply at St. Paul, and then they were like, how about Roseville? So then I ended up with Hannah and all my coworkers.
Yeah.
So then did you work yesterday at all, or have you just been on a little off?
What was yesterday, Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Yeah, no, Taylor and I both worked yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was Labor Day yesterday.
Yes, it certainly was.
How was
laborious?
Was it?
Laborious. I got 4 DoorDash orders, like, immediately.
Yeah.
Those were my favorite.
I had to make 4 sides of bacon for a DoorDash order.
4 sides of bacon.
And I was like, you don't understand, I'm making this in, like, a toaster oven now, for
my
real.
My favorite thing about visiting your St. Paul location every Monday, they just perpetually have a piece of tape over the side of bacon just sold out. I'm like,
must be nice.
You two should do that.
I freaking wish. We're sold out of it a lot, too. We run out of it often.
Literally, Logan asked Hannah if
he came over to get the drinks when I had, like, all of them up. He was like, I'll come back later. And I was like, I have 4 sides of bacon to make. And he was like, do you want some of our, like, par baked? And I was like, no, it's fine.
Ooh.
I already had it all lined up. Yeah, it was very kind. But I just did it anyway. I was too stressed to think about it.
Yeah. We choose to put ourselves
We choose to make our jobs harder.
Because then whenever we par bake, because we have, then no one orders it.
Right.
And then it goes bad. Because we have done that. And then
And you never know when it's going to come. Like, we don't have, like, consistent people ordering sides of bacon. It's just randomly 8 pieces of bacon and then none for a week.
That's the interesting part about working in a mall instead of basically a brick and mortar, is that I feel like our busy seasons are like reverse of brick and mortars. So like summer was pretty slow in general because everyone wants to be outside. No one's in the mall shopping. But now we've just hit, it's September, which is crazy, and the fair just ended, which everyone in Minnesota assumes that means summer's over. So people are going to start being inside more, and winter is coming, and the holidays are going to be, crazy. So we're probably going to start picking up, and football season's about to start, so I'm hoping Sundays are at least a little busier, because we can actually get football games on, like...
we don't have TVs at Earl Giles.
That's right.
You guys are really fancy.
Too bougie for that.
Dang.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, no, the holiday season will be quite something. You already get people who are rude enough from the service industry.
Yeah,
don't talk to me about it.
Well, the sense of entitlement at the mall was way different. I've been in the industry since I was 15, and even longer before that with the family bar that. Tony Jarris's in Northeast. I'd like fill ketchup and mustard and sit in the same booth and watch my mom work, or until we were old enough to watch each other essentially, or cook dinner by myself. And but moving forward from that, I have seriously never had more of an entitlement than in a mall food court, because they're like, oh, it's just a food court. Like none of these people actually are people. Like they're just like.
Truly
Stupid workers that they can't find any better job. Like that's
and then at the same time, they still expect they'll expect drinks that you would be able to get at like more higher class bars. Like, do you see how small this operation is? The bottles on the wall are what we have.
Yeah. Can you smoke my bourbon?
People entitled in mall food courts is
the level of entitlement crazy. And the level of stupidity.
Yes.
Should not
exist.
Like. Yeah, they don't understand. They don't know what they're doing, and then they expect everything from you. They expect you to hold their hand and walk them through the whole thing like they've never ordered food before in their life.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that goes for most, or pretty much any industry place.
Right.
Where people are like, oh, well, I've never been here before. That's when you should give them like a full explanation and be like, oh, this is what this is how this goes. But if they come in and they're like, oh, I've been here before, but can you tell me again? It's like, well...
Or they're like, can you tell me what's on this thing? And it tells you right there.
Of course, it's easy to sit here and be like, oh, well, screw these guys, like, whatever. But then at work, you put on a smile and you're like, oh, well, of course I'll explain everything again. Like, that was so...
Of course I'll read the menu for you word for word.
I've already memorized it for people like you. Like,
you literally have to...
That's like, I mean... This happened a few weeks ago. You would have loved this. A woman came in and she literally just asked, she's like, I just want a cheeseburger with whatever comes on it. So like she probably wanted a house burger is what she really was looking for, but Moon just put in a plain cheeseburger for her.
Right.
And so the plain cheeseburger comes up, and she immediately starts complaining, this isn't what I wanted. I was helping to bus at the time, so I gave it to her, and she complains to me, this isn't what I want. I said I want a cheeseburger with whatever comes on. And I did stay calm, but I was literally like, all these burgers on the menu here are cheeseburgers. Yep. They are burgers with cheese on them. So it's like, telling us you want a cheeseburger with whatever comes on it doesn't tell us much of anything. So like you have to tell it. And we went back and forth a little bit. Or pick one. Yeah, we went back and forth a little bit, and eventually I was holding her burger the entire time, and eventually she's like, can I just have my burger? I'm like, yeah, I actually don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, for real. But, please take this and go away.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, oh my God. Anyway, working in the food court it builds character, if nothing else, maybe.
Oh, for certain. Well, and
it breaks you down a little bit, too.
No, it
and, you know, I have zero problem saying this.
Yeah.
I hate Sandbox VR.
Yeah, if you've never been to the Rosedale Mall, yes, right above the food court is the Sandbox Virtual Reality, which...
It's really fun.
It's fun. We got to try it when they first opened, and it brings in business. Love that. But putting it right above the food court when there's scary scenarios that make people scream bloody murder is not smart. Or even anywhere in the mall. Like...
When it's usually expletives too, like it's constant, like there's kids all over the place, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? Like, whoa, what is that? There's a zombie! Whoa! And they're like screaming. Yes.
Why are you telling us that?
Right? Oh,
no.
I know I've been gone.
The
sound tunnel is so much. Yeah.
I guess that's fair.
We are the sound tunnel.
Yes, I guess that's fair.
There is a huge gap.
Yes.
We are directly underneath.
It was poorly made.
I am sorry to the...
It was poorly made.
Sorry to the host, but I will die on this hill.
No,
we have had a soda bottle thrown down from Sandbox from the guests directly into our sink. Our old coworker ran up and was like, "Hey, can you control your fucking customers?"
For real.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm glad they actually did that because I wanted to.
Like, it was like full.
I did it one time, and they're like, "Oh, dude, like,
yeah, dude.
What am I gonna do about it?" It's like, I don't know, do your job.
Yeah.
Well,
like, if it was full, if it hit on our head, like, that would, hello.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it's screaming, like, everyone comes up and is like, what the hell is up there?
Yeah.
And it's like...
Or people think the worst or assume the worst. And they're like, they're screaming bloody murder.
Mothers with children are, like, looking around. My mom panics even though she's been there multiple times. She still is like, that's awful.
Yeah.
Back when you were working with us, I love that you talked to the employees and they kind of blew you off because
when I was nice about it too, as nice as I possibly could have, I didn't like storm up and be like, hey, you guys need to tell these people to stop yelling or need to. I was just like, hey, is there any way that you can tell them over, because I know they have intercoms over the headphones, because I've been talked to, or I've done it before.
One of our old coworkers did the same thing too, because we had so many complaints, and one of our other coworkers was like,
not only do they not care, it's like when the employees that were there when you probably talked to them also might have been those employees that we had some Sandbox employees steal liquor from us because they're open later than us.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, and that was before they put the gates up after we closed. They just came down, poured themselves some shots, and then stole full bottles of liquor from behind the bar.
That's crazy.
And the worst part about it is they didn't even take like the expensive stuff. They took like the nastiest stuff. Like, what was it? Svedka? Like, I swear to God, Svedka was stolen.
Grow up.
And I was like, well, if you're going to steal some liquor, get a good bottle.
On camera.
Like, take the Jameson. That's expensive.
Seriously, take her.
Take something else. Don't steal.
I think that tells a lot about those people because, like, you know, being fellow service, I somewhat call them service industry workers as well. And it's like we're all in the
for the most part,
we're all in the same sinking ship and know how we all feel. So we just like turn around and be like, fuck these other service industry workers. I'm gonna steal their booze. It's like, okay, dude, so you just have no morals
no respect,
no morals, don't care.
No respect for the industry.
I'm glad that you get fired, and I hope the worst for you.
If you're going to steal, be smart about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
like become friends with us.
Yeah.
And talk to us, and we might just give you a shifty. We might.
Oh yeah.
Just give you a shifty
if you earn it.
Wow. Okay. We could keep bullshitting. I do have a game we could play with the
Yay!
Malort.
Let's do it.
We'll see how this goes. This game is technically called Malort or My Lord. You're gonna pick a question. You either answer it, or if you don't want to answer it, you have to take a shot.
Oh,
of Malort.
that's great.
I feel like we should all take a shot just to start the game.
Yay!
So
Ten.
we are gonna
Pull
crack-
them, pull
so-
them.
10-4 butter booty.
So you've taken this. Has anyone else had Malort before here, or is?
No.
I am the only one, I think.
If this is absolutely disgusting, then I'm
Yeah,
not
that's the
even
other-
grabbing a question,
We're all
and
down.
I'm gonna be like, "Hey, so
You're just
the
gonna spill all
podcast
the
is
beans.
done. Otherwise,
Well, you can
you're
spill the
grabbing a
beans.
new bottle
And
of
like I said,
liquor."
they're-
Oh my god!
A
My
different
dad
flavor.
said it's a foul tasting drink from Chicago. Don't touch it. Make Evan try it first. Evan's my boyfriend. Oh
Dude,
He does.
shout out to your dad.
Shout out to
That's-
Bilski.
You know what? I do love that he's trying to protect his daughter,
Billiam.
but that timing could not have been worse.
No.
Because we're about to take a
I
shot
just
at
give
it.
me a second. I need to just dissociate.
Oh no!
I need to disassociate.
I just need to just
Look.
forget. Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be. It's one of those.
Just forget about it. Just don't think about it.
Just do not think
I
about
can
it.
do mine first
Can
and
somebody
do like a
read
light
that?
work, no reaction.
I need a.
Okay.
I need a.
Like-
I need a countdown. I need a 3, 2, 1, and then I can do
well,
anything.
3, 2, 1, cheers.
Cheers.
Down. Drink. I mean,
Like I said, not the worst thing you've ever had.
no,
But like,
I didn't love it.
would it be?
It wasn't as
Would it be
bad
a go-to
as my dad
of mine? Probably not.
You're gonna pull 3 questions here, probably. I wouldn't want to take 3 more shots of that, like in the next
Yeah, no, I'll
It's
answer
still
Probably.
questions.
lingering.
in the next 10 minutes.
That's
so,
the
like,
annoying part.
But does anyone want to volunteer to go first? I feel like we should.
I will.
There you go. Just pick one and read it out loud. What do you got?
Yay.
What do you got?
Read it aloud for the class.
Who is your least favorite regular and why?
Yo, let's go!
Nice.
I like this. I like
Nice.
this one. I tried to make them industry related.
Oh no.
I don't even. Well, like
Do you have
I.
regulars at the coffee bar?
Oh yeah, and okay,
We have some
depending on who they are, they slay. Like depending if we vibe. They are one of the biggest reasons as to why it makes the job enjoyable. Caleb, James,
True. Jez.
David,
David. Oh,
Jez,
Miss David.
Jez from the UK. He was so great.
International. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
Wow.
You know,
That's
there was
crazy.
like, yeah, I know, right? He
you
said that we
literally-
could pass for the UK. He said
Jenga.
that.
McJagan's
You're so great.
I'm portly British.
There you go.
Some days.
But I don't know. We've
Least
had
favorite regular.
Least favorite.
least favorite. A lot of them I don't know their names.
Name drop.
I don't know
But
their-
like they've
but-
come
but-
quite often.
Is there anything, I guess, that would make them your least favorite in particular? Like, you don't have to know their name, but is there something you just hate that they do, but they keep coming back?
What about Cortado lady?
I don't think she's my least favorite.
Oh, that's
She's
valid.
it's the
But
one.
there's tea there. There's tea there.
Yeah, there's Cortado lady. There's I don't even know where she works.
Okay, but
You
where
know
does she
the
get?
bland face.
Okay.
Alright, well, I'm sure some
No,
people think she's
you
very
know,
attractive.
you know. If
Okay,
you,
okay, which one? What does she
middle,
get?
like middle age.
What does she get?
So you know them by their coffee or it's not their
Sometimes
name.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Apple
Okay.
sometimes gets. I don't know her full
I'm at a
order.
loss.
Like
But what does
you
she do that turns you off?
It's just the vibes
Just the
aren't
vibes
there.
Okay, that's fair.
I wish I.
I'll just
I wish
take a shot. I'll just take
You
a
know what? I'm
shot.
not gonna force you to take
No, I'll take one.
All right,
I'll take
all
one.
right. I'm not gonna pour you a full one.
Just do a half
Yeah,
seize
just a half
because I can't.
I gotta save
It's
this
not
Malort.
Cortado lady.
I know,
Oh, yeah.
I know that if you point her out to me, I'd be like, "Oh my god, that's
Well,
who you're talking about." But
It's, yeah, I don't want to like name drop. I don't want to
That's
like
fine,
go
that's
too
fine.
descriptive.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
It's fine.
Well, hopefully, I feel like this is something at least on the bar side. I don't know if it happens over by you, but like we've had some like the worst regulars eventually get weeded out, and some of them we really tell them to not come back. So
Yep.
like
Yeah.
at this point, we really don't. I would say I don't have any regulars that I dislike. All the regulars are pretty good people. I mean, the last bad regular, and I wouldn't even call him bad, but he worked over at the Chipotle, and then I had a little bit of internal beef with him because he never tipped me.
Yeah.
Not once. And so it's like, I get it, you also work in the industry, but like...
But then you should know.
Yeah, you can't float me $1 here and there, so you would never do that. Last I heard of him, he came in, he got his usual order and left without paying his tab, which apparently he's done before. So they're like, the manager's like, don't worry, he'll come back and pay it. Like the next day, he like blew up at a customer and got fired.
Oh,
it's like, we're not going to get his tip or his check paid.
He's not coming back.
But that's kind of the last, like, bad, I guess I'd say, right? Otherwise, everyone else is pretty, like, Tamara is pretty much...
Tamara.
She's lovely.
Bless her heart.
I love Tamara.
She's the sweetest.
She's the sweet. She's got some tea to spill. But
years of drama.
That's okay.
I have some dice in my purse.
I have 2 sets of dice from her.
I have 3 sets.
There are 3 sets on my desk right over there.
That's so
and she'll
cute.
still bring in more. And I'm like, she's like, we need some dice. I'm like, I really don't. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that.
I
don't either.
I just keep them because one day I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna be like, oh, remember Tamara?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be like
as
30.
As sad as it is, like one day she just will not. She'll just stop showing up.
Dude, stop.
You're right.
Our little
That's
Mika
true,
bean.
though.
Our little Mika bean just got her first pair the other day.
Oh, we're so done.
She was so excited. I was so excited to see that.
All right. Well done. You took a shot. Now you're
Half
up.
shot.
My turn?
I think
Okay.
All right. What do we got here?
Oh, has a customer ever tried to fight you?
Ooh.
No.
No, this isn't a Waffle House.
Not verbally or physically,
No,
really.
that's-
No.
Debatably.
I mean, they've been sassy, but
That's good. We've gotten that at the bar, so I feel like that is a good question to put in.
I feel like if either of you have a story of somebody trying to fight you,
Definitely.
Go for it. I have not.
Please share.
I was in the back for a while, prepping, cutting and grinding burgers and whatnot, and getting all my shit done. And I went to the bathroom, and it smelled really funny in there, like super funny. Like not like bathroom,
drugs?
not regular nasty bathroom smell.
Right.
Wow.
It was just like
Regular nasty.
it smelled like formaldehyde almost. Like it smelled nasty, completely nasty.
Someone's doing
And
drugs.
I watched this guy come out of the stall as I'm washing my hands, and then he's like washing himself at the sink.
Oh,
Right. And then I like did like a double back because I know he's watching me, but I was just like, I don't give a shit about this guy. Like I'm gonna go see what he if he left anything or whatever, and I see the burnt tinfoil.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm assuming was fentanyl or heroin or something that
Typical
you definitely
at the
shouldn't
Rosedale Mall.
smoke.
Right.
Shouldn't smoke that shit. And I looked at him, and as he was like cleaning himself up, and I was like, dude, if you don't leave the building, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Like I told him straight up, and I was like, there's fucking kids out there.
Yeah.
There are children out there that could have came in and smelled the same thing, or you could have killed somebody, or you could have killed me. Like I don't know what you're smoking. I don't care what you're smoking.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you to the ground and start wailing on you if you don't leave right now.
Yeah.
And he walked out, and then I followed him out, and he didn't walk outside of the building. So I didn't beat him up. I should have. Personally, all I wanted to do was jump him and just start wailing on him. But that's just more problem for the police and whatever. So he ended up walking past, and I think it was the same guy that was like stealing pops and sodas and stuff from like Joey Meatballs, and like he was wearing all red, like super leathery face, just really messed up guy. And I called security, and I was like, dude, this guy was smoking something in the bathroom.
Yes.
You guys need to lock the bathrooms or like block them off for a while because I don't know what it is. And I don't want anyone to get hurt. There's kids around here, blah, blah, blah. And I watched security with police officers walk him outside the building.
Yeah.
Took him right outside. And I never saw him again. I don't remember exactly if I was there much longer after that. But that was the closest I ever came to really throwing down with someone.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No. I hope I don't think it was the same guy, but like literally, dude, like 2 or 3 months ago, we had 2 guys in that bathroom doing heroin or something. It's like we called security or whatever, and they probably had every security officer in the mall was like answering this call. It's like, yo, we don't get any action. Let's go.
Right.
That's all they have to do.
So they finally,
they're all excited.
They kicked the 2. It was 2 of the guys in the handicapped stall, and they kick him out. But the kicker was, I didn't threaten to fight anyone, but one of the guys, he had like an empty water bottle, and as they're walking out of the mall, he walks past the soda machine, and he starts to fill his water bottle up with soda. And I was right there, and I was literally like, dude, fuck no, you didn't pay for that, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, yo, well, what's the problem?
Yeah, what's up, man?
The problem is you didn't pay for it.
Like, it's not even about the soda, dude. It's just like, again,
it's the principle.
You're doing heroin in a mall food court.
It's the principle.
You're doing heroin in the mall food court bathroom,
and
you're trying to fill your empty water bottle up with soda that you didn't pay for. That's what the fuck is up, dude.
To be fair, like, I feel like I've told that story to a friend of mine. And he was like, dude, but you guys, like, you make like $3 on that $3.25 soda. I'm like, that's not the point.
Right.
You're right. That's not the point.
Right.
But the point
That's
is
not the point.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
It's the principle.
I mean, I watch plenty of kids walk up and they ask for a water cup and they go get soda. And I'm like, well,
and you gotta pick your battles. That
you
happens
definitely.
so often.
Oh yeah.
And some days you fight it.
If you recognize someone continually doing the same thing, sure, maybe be like, hey man.
But no.
It's $3. Like,
It's
if you don't have $3,
we are making a stupid amount
just
of money
ask me. I'll pay you $3 for a soda for you.
Just be cool about it.
Yeah.
Cool about it.
Don't be a dickhead.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, he's going in. I like it. Ooh, I like that he's mixing it up.
Yeah, true.
Oh shit!
Oh, no.
This is a good one.
Have you ever done something to anyone's food, drink, or order?
Wow.
Have you ever like, oh, I hate this customer, so I'm gonna spit in there.
Done anything to someone's food or drink? Yes. Yes is the answer.
God.
Yes is the answer.
Was that one of my food orders?
No. It was. I was 16 years old.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
I was working at Burger King.
Slay.
Okay.
And I had a customer really mad at me for literally the dumbest reasons. They came up. They asked for, I believe it was the Chick King, which is not on the menu anymore, which is a bummer because it's literally the only thing that was good.
That was good.
Other than the nuggets, I guess. But like, who knows what's in there?
Slay sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean, drunk Carter really likes just bad food.
That's so
I feel like drunk anyone likes really bad food, but this lady came up and she was like, put as much mayo as you can on this sandwich.
You're like, you don't understand.
As much mayo.
And I was like, you don't understand how much mayo I can put on your sandwich.
I was on the front desk this time because I wasn't in the kitchen quite yet, and I was running the food from the drive-through and doing everything all at once because we were short-staffed. So the lady told me to put as much mayo as I possibly could on her sandwich. So I told them, put like double, triple mayo on that. And then she got her sandwich all wrapped up and nice. She was eating in-house at Burger King. You know, people that sit down and eat at Burger King are real classy folks.
Okay.
Yes.
Real weird.
And so she opened her sandwich and she was like, what the fuck?
Oh, no.
And she came back and she was like, what is this? What is this?
This is as much
mayo. And I was like,
what you asked for.
You asked for extra mayo and extra mayo on top of that. So that is 2 squirts of mayo plus 2 squirts of mayo. That's what you wanted. That's what you asked for.
Right.
She threw the sandwich at me.
What the fuck?
It hit me in the chest.
Mayo everywhere.
Mayo everywhere.
Oh, no.
And the manager ended up like screaming at her and like getting on her. I mean, he was obviously on my side.
Good.
We ended up de-escalating the situation, cleaned up a little bit. We had extra shirts in the back, so I put on an extra shirt and I was like, do you want another sandwich?
Oh my God.
And she said, yes, but I'm leaving with it this time. I don't even want to be here anymore.
Cool.
So what we did was we took the chicken patty. We didn't even cook one. We didn't even cook a chicken patty, but we filled it all the way up with mayo.
Yes!
We filled the entire sandwich with mayo.
Oh my God.
The entire sandwich was just mayo and lettuce. We wrapped it up, put it in a bag, and rolled it up. And at that time, we had like stickers and stuff, so we stickered it shut. And we said, if you come back, we're calling the police. So she left with a mayo sandwich, just like she asked for.
Absolutely.
And yeah, but otherwise though, I've never like spit in someone's food. That's disgusting. I've never like dropped something and like thrown it back on a plate. That's my mistake. That's not their mistake. I'll redrop a new thing and give them a couple extra if that's the case. Like chicken tenders, chicken nuggets. Like I'd drop a couple and be like, damn it.
Yeah.
Sorry for the wait, ma'am. But we'll make sure that you get a couple extra. I dropped one. It was on me. And, like, I'm completely upfront and honest.
Right.
And most of the time, people are like, oh, it's not in a hurry. Or, like, or they say, like, oh, I'm in a hurry. I'll just take the 4 instead of 5.
Right,
Or
exactly.
And then I'll be like, next time you come, though, like, here's the manager number. Here's my number, whatever. Like,
you let them know.
We'll make this work. Next time you come in, we'll get you a free one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next time you come in. Same thing with burgers and
Right.
all the rest. But I've never spat in anyone's food. That's too far. It's way too far, and it's literally like biohazard, like assault.
I think
it's
it's
assault.
like a
I think it's assault.
I think that's actually yes.
OSHA would have some words with you. So.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great story.
The mayo sandwich is
like this
good.
is what you asked for. I don't know what you're complaining about.
This is the most mayo.
Well, looking back at it, it's hilarious. But in the moment, I was just like, I'll jump over this counter. Like, I don't care about Burger King this much. If it was a dude that did it, I would have jumped over the counter. But it was like an old lady who was just angry at the world, and it was like, well,
and I would.
I was trying to be as nice as possible, but you just hit me with a mayo sandwich. Like, so what you're gonna get is a mayo sandwich.
You just threw a sandwich at me in a Burger King.
Out of Burger King.
Well, you obviously can't handle yourself.
Yeah.
You really expected the 9s here.
That was a wow.
Very good, Jerry.
All right, I'm a little concerned about because I wrote all these questions. There are some that I don't
Want to answer.
Read it out loud.
This is literally the one that I was.
Yeah, it's fate. It's fate.
Jerry.
You did this to yourself.
I did. Have you ever flirted with a customer and what was the result?
Yeah. This guy? No, I've never seen him flirt with anyone.
I
know.
Never
you
once.
have.
I've never tried to
Never
make
once.
you flirt with a bartender either.
You've never,
I've never meddled in your flirting with customers either.
I have flirted with a handful of customers.
Yeah.
And it has led to a handful of dates, and just unfortunately, for this reason or that, has not worked out. But it is interesting.
I've heard some interesting dates.
You've had some
There's
good
been some
stories.
interesting ones. The luck hasn't been great.
I've heard one interesting date.
But
I know.
I think the conversation around this topic is interesting because I've had some people like, I will sometimes slip my number to customers, on their tab or whatever, and some people are like, no, you don't, you shouldn't do that. That's so fucking creepy. Some people
It can be if they're not giving the same like.
Yes.
If they're not giving the vibe,
I think.
But
that's what. So that's
you
what
know
I,
when.
You feel
that's
the
what I've
vibes.
learned.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned recently, which I think has been key. I'm always trying to learn because I actually recently I slipped my number to a girl, and it was the girlfriend of some guy who worked in the mall.
Oh no!
I slipped her my number, and 5 minutes later, the guy came up and started yelling at me.
Oh.
And he was
Name
like,
drop?
He was like, I didn't get his name.
I'm
or
kidding.
whatever. But he was like, dude, this is fucking creepy. Like, why do you do that? You shouldn't be doing that. Like, do you think that's okay? And in my mind, I'm like, well, it's worked several times. So like,
Right.
I think, but then like the next day, I was really thinking about that, and I was like, let me ask one of my the girls I play volleyball with. I play volleyball every Monday. I was like, look, you need to be brutally honest with me. Like, is this creepy? Like, am I in the wrong here? She's like, I don't think it's creepy. I like the confidence, but I think the key there was like, all I really did was, take her order. We didn't have any like flirting or casual conversation.
Right.
So she's like, okay, if you didn't have any casual conversation to like test the waters, I think that might be like you don't do it then because you haven't.
Or
tested.
could be seen as.
Yes.
It's a gray area.
So, but I have
Certainly.
on the flip side, I've heard like I've listened to people who do full-time bartending. Like that's how I meet most of my dates or whatever.
Yep.
So I think you have to find that line, and it's also I think a little bit different too because most of those bartenders I've heard talk about that are female bartenders approaching guys.
Yeah.
I think it can definitely be a little different with the male approaching the female, and I never want to make anyone uncomfortable at my bar or anything like that. But that is hilarious that I got that question. I was like, I was like, I swear to God, there's a 10% chance I get that question. So far we've only had one Malort shot by Taylor, and we're back to Taylor.
Taborg.
By the what?
TB.
Taborg.
Taborg.
Okay,
Thanks,
what do you got?
hand job.
What do you got? Taborg and a hand job? Are those your names for each other?
That is
Yes.
our coworker Valencia came up.
Hand
job. Yeah,
Hand
okay.
job, yep.
I love that.
Yeah. Honestly, a miracle that I hadn't been called that before.
Anyways, what's the worst thing you've ever done at work?
Okay. Okay. And this could be, I don't know, you could take this a few different ways.
Worst thing I've ever done. I mean, I can't really think of
Nothing
like
super-
the worst thing I would probably have to do would be like leaving the stand to go get a drink, but I've done
Which
that literally
that does-
with my manager.
That does happen.
I've literally done that with my manager, so I can't say that's worst.
I do love when you two come to the bar and like I'm making a drink for you and you're like looking back at the booth like, do I need to address anything right now?
To go do my job.
Like, is that the worst?
No,
like, I can't
think that's
tell.
Totally fine. I mean,
no, I know, and that's when it's slow. So it's
Yes.
like, what else?
you're right. I don't think there's too much bad you've probably done, and that's fine. I think that's a question better suited for future guests, which is okay.
Sometimes
I'll take a shot anyways.
Jeez, her dad texted her like, by the way, don't drink this Malort. And
she's
like,
drinking the most of it.
My dad was like,
my literal dad.
my dad was like, I might listen just to hear you chase Malort.
He should.
Shout out, Bill.
Shout out
Hey,
my
Bill.
dad.
Love you, Bill.
What's up,
Cheers, everybody.
Sorry, friend. Anyways.
Hannah, how do you feel about your question?
How do I? Fine. It's pretty tame. This is question number 7. What's something your manager does or doesn't do that you absolutely hate?
Ooh, okay. To keep in mind, your manager might watch this podcast.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is like I don't know if there's anything necessarily that she does do or doesn't do that I absolutely hate. I feel like
Is she the one I carded when I shouldn't have carded
yes,
her?
that's her. That's
Yep.
I'd probably seen her twice at that point.
No,
in
yeah,
my-
it's-
Yeah, I know.
So I did
cool
feel
now.
really bad for a long time.
Yeah,
after
no,
that, but at
it's-
the same time, she still got her drink.
Yeah, no, yeah. All right,
She
yeah.
does seem nice.
She like
so.
yeah. I don't. There's.
That question wasn't necessarily written for you.
Was it written for you?
I'm not gonna say who it was written for.
Yeah, no, you
Oh, it
had
was definitely
something.
written for me. I've had a few managers that I can go on for days.
Do you want me to
Wow.
answer?
Do you have an answer? You have the same manager.
She doesn't speak up for herself as much as she should.
Okay.
True.
Yo,
yeah. but
okay.
that- yeah.
Okay. Wait,
That's
so can you...
She
wholesome.
deserves better.
Can you
Still
give an
wholesome.
example?
Like she just like
She does a
lets
lot
her stuff
more-
get stepped on or like
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. She
Okay.
does a
She's-
lot more.
She pulls a lot of weight for her position.
Yeah.
And her and yeah.
She like without her,
we would die.
this
It'd be a mess.
like not only Black, but also Vitality would be gone. Even Acadia a little bit. The bar, like she really is like amazing. I don't know. She's all in one. Sometimes, you know, a manager can be super stressed. Obviously, we can be like,
Sometimes she gets mad at us because sometimes we suck.
She's like, I want to smother you, and we're like, oh my god, and that's actually what she
It's
says.
like she loves us so much that she like gets disappointed, which is
Yeah.
almost worse than her being mad.
I know.
I'm not mad. I'm just
She calls
like,
it. Yeah, I know.
Oh no, I let you
Oh
down.
my
She
God.
calls it smothering.
Yeah.
She's
It
like,
is.
I'm gonna smother you, and then we get sad, and
'Cause we
she's like,
know what
it's
it means.
fine,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
don't
there's-
know. You know what? And I think she does so much, and I think she can be underappreciated.
We actually just love
sometimes.
her.
I think that's a very common thing when you get into like the management level in this industry. Is just you end up taking on way too much work than you should be doing. We're also all getting paid way less than we should be,
Right.
and just gets more frustrating the higher you climb the ladder. So yeah, that's gosh.
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
Let's
yeah,
go.
Okay. What do we got? He's the only one shuffling, and I appreciate it.
I forget.
I just don't want.
I don't
It's all about fate here, you know. And I'm not. Oh, some of them are getting on. Okay, here.
She's shuffling them too hard.
Oh, this is a good one.
What is the most common lie you tell to customers? I.e., McDonald's employees always saying the ice cream machine is broken.
When it's probably not.
Truly.
Well, I know the secret of that one. I had a friend that worked at McDonald's
Ooh.
for quite a while. 2 friends that worked at McDonald's for quite a while, and it was because they didn't want to clean it again.
Amen.
Fair. So very fair.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yes. So have you ever done that? Or
Absolutely, yeah. There were many times when people would say like, "Oh, can I get this or whatever?" And we'd be like, "No, we're out, sorry." Or like, "No, we don't have any more bacon," or like, we don't have this today, sorry. And we clearly have it in the back, but it's pure laziness. It's pure.
It's like, not for you, sorry.
Yeah, it's like we already ran through what we prepped for the day, and we don't want to have to go through the extra mile and have to run and run and run,
like,
and then to make one order.
Right, that's like a whole case for maybe one order.
To make one order, and I'm not gonna open a
No.
case of bacon that day if we had already sold all the bacon.
Right.
Like it's first come first serve kind of always comes into mind.
So the act of saying we're out of something when we're really not, I think happens a lot more often than non-service industry workers think it does. But if they were in our shoes, they do the exact same.
For sure.
Like it pisses you off if you're just.
And it completely depends on the day.
But you do the exact same thing.
Well, and like it goes. Whenever I go out to a restaurant and they say, "Oh, we're out of this," I'm like, "Are you really?" In my mind, but I'm like, I know what the cooks are going through back there, and it's like the same thing of like, you guys ever go to a restaurant and see like how huge the menu is? How the hell do they remember all this stuff?
No, literally.
How the hell do they remember all this stuff?
How do they have all this stuff in stock all the time?
Or how do they prep for all this stuff?
For real.
That's gotta be a night.
That's a nightmare. There's a spot in Freely that I really like called Shortstop Bar, and they have a huge menu. Everything on it that I've ordered, super good. Everything I've ordered, super good. But there's been many times I've showed up, they're like, "Oh, we don't have this," and I'm like, "Oh, well, that makes sense. Look at this menu.
Your U.S. Foods order is crazy."
Look at this novel I'm reading for dinner.
That's crazy.
I'm having trouble reading this menu.
For real, there's 5 pages.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I don't think there's any. I don't know. We might have only 10 questions left. So again, if you have other ideas, this is interesting. Okay, so if you could yell at your customers, what would you yell at them for?
Stop being a fucking dumbass.
That's too many. That one's just really too many.
There's
Too many
instances.
Which it is funny.
Give us top 3.
I was gonna make a
I
was gonna make a TikTok. I think about this yesterday. Thinking about our menu, if you remember our menu, the amount of people who look at our nacho burger, which on the menu just says nacho, but it is under the burgers section.
Yep.
But the amount of people who come up and are like, "Can I get the nachos?" I'm like, "It's a burger," and they get so upset, and I'm like, "Look. It's under the burger section. It's between 2 burgers. It's not under the munchies, which is our appetizer section.
You're at Burger Dive.
Yeah, you're at Burger Dive. What part of you thinks you're getting a nacho plate here?
Same thing at Black Coffee and Waffle Bar. There's strawberry cheesecake or apple strudel.
Yeah.
Under waffles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
I served apple strudel to 2 elderly ladies, and they're like, "I thought we were getting an apple strudel." I'm like, "Hey,
This
babe.
is an apple strudel.
Hey, babe, you came to Black Coffee and Waffle Bar, not Diane's Bakery,
I was gonna say,
babe."
go to Diane's. I bet she has something
Turn
close.
around, walk 3 feet.
Yeah.
Her stuff is great, too.
All
So
of it.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
It's between that or the fry basket on our menu, which we get people all the time like, "What's in a fry basket?" I'm like, "What do you think?" Like,
That would, in fact, be a basket of fries.
They're always like, "Oh, is it just like an assortment of all the things you fry here?" I'm like,
What the fuck?
I can kind of see where you're going with that,
But
we
also
wouldn't
look
name
at
it
the
fry
price.
we wouldn't name it fry basket. We'd name it like appetizer sampler or something
Right.
like that. Definitely easy for us to say who worked there, but also I'm like, I feel like this is also kind of common sense.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like we shouldn't have to change the menu from the title from fry basket to basket of fries. We have 2 questions left, which is one for each of you. I think these are both fun questions.
Who has been the most memorable customer?
Most
okay.
Most
memorable?
memorable. That could be good. That could be bad. That could be.
I already know the
However
answer.
you want it, right? It's us now.
It has to be. It has to be Jez and Caleb.
Ooh, name.
And, well, obviously, I have to name off my besties.
I don't know.
Jez, Caleb, and James. Although and for Hannah, David. But David, we haven't seen David in a long time.
Yeah. David.
But David meant a lot to Hannah.
David.
Hannah, it was in her early days, and she was getting really fucked. on Saturday mornings. And he would like pep talk her.
No.
And like every single time he would, because he used to work at Caribou.
Yeah, so he knew the
And just in general, like a barista, like manager.
Yeah, okay.
And all the time he would remind her, like, being, like, working as a barista is a job. Like, it's a job.
Yes.
And so whenever someone would find it, because all the time someone is like, when are you going to find a real job? Like, a real, like, job.
Man.
Literally.
And he would get so infuriated.
He'd get so heated on our behalf.
He'd be like, it is a real job.
The person who can't live without their coffee is asking the barista.
Yeah.
If you all got real jobs, you wouldn't get your fucking coffee.
Yeah, you have to make it at home in your Keurig.
Yeah.
Quote unquote real
he would
jobs.
always come in on a Saturday morning with his daughter.
Yeah.
Sure, it's not a
When
Michelin
Hannah-
star waffle bar, but
When Hannah was working.
Yep.
And she was crying one morning.
Oh,
and
no.
he would always come in every Saturday and he would give her a pep talk.
Nice. I like that. That's a wholesome story. Could have gone either way. I like the wholesome route personally. So this should be a fun one, but I'm curious as to I don't know how you'll
Fuck, marry, kill items on your menu. Ooh.
Yes.
You got this one.
You can do waffles, coffee combo, whatever you want to do.
It's gonna be waffles. It's all gonna be waffles.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to hear this.
So, probably gonna.
Is it gonna be in
I'm
terms of like making
I
or
definitely have an
actually
answer for
eating?
this one too. Like I already have
I don't know.
every single one panned out.
We should all do this, honestly.
I think honestly.
Last question, everyone should answer this
Yes.
one.
We should.
Everyone gets.
I'm here for this.
I'd say fuck the mudsucker because it slays.
Yeah.
Marry the bad pig and
Ooh, the bad pig is a good one. Bad pig is a good one.
kill the loaded potato. It tastes good. I hate
okay.
making it.
Yeah.
So it
just
can
a
fucking
giant-ass
die.
potato.
It can die in a hole.
Giant-ass,
Yeah. What's your
Because it's
fuck,
so
marry,
fun
kill
with
off the menu?
I'll
You're gonna kill a matcha.
Oof. I'll fuck. I'll fuck an iced chai.
Okay.
Okay.
A small iced chai.
Okay.
I'll marry a build your own plain.
A plain waffle.
Well, actually, you know what? Actually, I take that back because it's really annoying. Because then if I burn it or if it doesn't look cute, then I take that back.
Yeah, then it's the worst.
Then it's really a pain in the ass. So I'll marry a apple strudel because then I can put more
granola.
Yeah. Not even granola, because no one orders it with granola.
That's true.
So if it looks like a little not great, then I'll put more cinnamon on it.
Ooh, okay. I do like cinnamon.
And then what are you gonna kill?
And I'm gonna kill a strawberry cheesecake, 100%.
Okay.
Amen.
So not a lot of love for the strawberry cheesecake.
Tasty.
It's just annoying.
Tasty, just annoying. Because we have to cut strawberries.
Oh yeah.
We have to wash and cut strawberries for it, and that gets annoying when you're busy.
I hate cutting strawberries.
They only order strawberry cheesecakes when you're busy and you're out of strawberries.
I would rather make a loaded potato than make a strawberry
That's
cheesecake.
so valid. Okay. You two.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to take this one first? Or?
Absolutely.
All right, you got
All right, you're ready. Let's go.
Ready.
It's not on our menu anymore, but I'd totally fuck the broccolini.
Oh.
Dude, good broccolini.
It was so good.
I love
broccolini. It was so good. It's basically broccoli, but it has like a longer stalk, and it's like young. I don't know if it's younger broccoli. I'm not a botanist or anything, but it's like
broccoli
but
expert.
So much better.
It cooks a little different for sure, and we have like a yellow curry that we use with it, and then we coat it in nam pla, which is like a Vietnamese. I believe it's Vietnamese. Like fish sauce kind of thing, and then we fry garlic chips over the top of it. Genuinely one of the favorite things I've ever had at Earl Giles. I'd marry our pizza over. I'd marry our pizza 10,000 times over.
The love of
10,000 times over. There's a few that I'm not like a huge fan of, but like we make all the dough in house. We make all the red sauce in house. We make our chorizo and our sausage. We have a fennel sausage in house too. We pretty much everything that we have there is nearly everything we have there is house made. If I were to kill anything,
what are you sick of?
it's the crab dip.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks to make.
Okay, fair.
Well, it's just a lot of extra steps. Yeah. It's really good.
I'm going to order that.
Well, I'm sure you really like it. It's been on our menu since we've been open. Right. Everybody loves it.
Nice. Jerry?
I'm going to do 2 parts to this because I'm going to do food and then I'm going to do beverages since I'm the bartender. But for food, I'm just not a big fan of them, so I'm going to kill our patty melt. I know a lot of people love the patty melt. I'm just personally not a big fan, so I'm going to kill the patty melt.
It's
on
the
food side. I'm going to fuck the Connecticut lobster roll because I love the warm lobster roll.
Yep.
And I'm gonna marry our house burger just because it's you can never go you can't go wrong with the house burger.
It's an American classic.
Exactly. On the drinks and cocktails side, I feel like it's a tie for fuck between our hurricane and our lime and the coconut. I love making both those. I love the taste of both of those. You got the tropical versus the New Orleans style. 2 of my favorite vibes. I'm going to marry the old-fashioned because I'm from Wisconsin and my parents put me to work early, so I've been making old-fashioned since I was like 12.
Nice.
So I can't turn my back on them.
Hell yeah.
We're going to kill any kind of ice cream drink that we have on the menu.
True.
We've pretty much gotten rid of most of them, which I'm a fan of. We technically have 2 on the menu right now for state fair drinks, but I'm assuming the next time I come in, they will not be on the menu anymore.
And fingers crossed.
I don't think anyone actually ordered them. So I love the concept, but I don't think anyone was here for them at the end of the day. So.
Amen.
You know what? That was a great introductory round. We did it. Cheers to all of you.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm scared. Oh, fuck, I just spilled. Alright, well, I remember that being not as bad.
Okay.
We've covered quite a bit of stuff, so we can wrap it up pretty quickly, but I did, like I said, find some of those Reddit barista...
Oh, true.
It's a good spot for
I kind of want to go through some of these
well.
yeah, honestly. I kind of want to see how you react to some of these, so let's...
even on bartender or line cook side,
honestly,
there's got to be subreddits for that.
Okay,
bullshit.
so let's see. Let's start with the first one.
All kinds of Reddits.
This one just is just titled Barista Rant. So we're just looking for your reaction to this. So I'm sure you probably experienced something very similar. So this snarky woman came in today. She placed an order. It says online ? On the phone ? Who knows? But no problem. I asked her name. Apparently her name was I'm ordering right now.
Okay.
And Lily says okay. Can already tell she's going to be a rude customer. As I wrap up her order, I wanted to make sure I packaged everything correctly, so I asked, will that be for here or to go? And this rude bitch raises her voice and says, I said it was to go.
Oh my god.
And this says, girl, when did you say that? I feel like people always expect us to read their minds when they don't use their words. Grown-ass women can't even use her own words. It's 5 hours later, and I can't stop thinking about how people like that go about their days and lives. I feel bad for anyone in their lives, and they make me lose faith in humanity. Just one of many enjoyable customers. So...
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This is also by the user Alien Abductor 420.
That's a barista for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
She has a Nirvana tattoo somewhere.
Do you 2 let negative customer interactions affect you for 5 hours?
Yes.
That's the thing.
They affect me all day long, and I have to.
I think it's totally natural.
I don't have
myself out of
tattoos,
it.
but they tattoo my mental. My bitch face. My bitch face is because of every single negative customer that comes up to me.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yep.
They are the reason.
Yeah.
They're like, why do you have bad customer service?
Well, and you can put on a face for so long, or you can only put on a face for so long.
Yeah.
It's if someone gives you the slightest bit of it's like the 10 customers beforehand, if at least 5 of them were like, that person's going to get the brunt of every single one of those customers beforehand.
I've been holding it together until this moment, and now you've pushed me over the edge. And I have to be mean.
Dude, if someone's coming up to me and it's like, cappuccino small, you're wondering why I'm giving you bad customer service? Hello?
Yeah.
I asked you how your day was.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Truly.
Yeah, I'm giving you a small, extra small latte. Oh my god, it's my day off today.
Yes.
It's triggering to even listen to these.
It's so
oh
funny
my
because
god.
two of the top comments are, one is from username SuaveMF.
I'm just reading it now.
It just says, you're supposed to dip your nuts in their drink if they're unruly. So,
or give them decaf.
I don't have
NSA, CIA, FBI, hop on.
Yes.
What's his name? Suave. Suave MF.
Yeah, check him out.
Check him out.
Check him out.
Check his hard drives.
Don't check his hard drives.
Check all of his hard drives.
Extra check the hard drives.
Look at his DSI.
Oh no.
Look at his.
The next one is at least trying to be productive. I get where they're coming from, but
I understand. I completely get what where they're coming from.
This person is saying, I've noticed after many years of dealing with people like that, they're usually that they're in a shitty mood regardless. It's never what you did. I always say, if she speaks to me like that, her husband probably hates her. Actually, she's probably single and lonely and never gets any, and that's why she's so tense. In my head, I somehow justify their rudeness and move on with my day, feel a little better about myself. Too long didn't make up a story about why they're so miserable. It's never about you. I kind of get where
that is a lot of it too.
But my mental illness doesn't
it's not even
literally my mental stability does not let me think about that. I cannot deal with that negativity today. I already don't want to be here. I don't need your negativity to read off on me.
And sometimes, there are certain days where just walk away too. If they are like that, look at them dead in the face and be like, I'll be right back.
Then you go scream
with
in
a
the
serious face, and you go into the cooler and you scream, and you punch potato boxes, and you
cry in the walk-in. We cry in the walk-in.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever had a customer make me cry, or at least I've come close. I've come certainly close, but
I can't relate.
I don't think a customer has
usually walk away before that.
A customer has not directly made Hannah cry, I don't think.
Right.
Not like them being mean necessarily.
I directly have cried from a customer.
When it comes to a certain point too, you gotta when they start escalating things, you go, you know what? Clearly you're having not the best day.
Right.
Is there anything I can do with this to make your day any better?
What can I do?
Yeah.
What do you need me to do?
And if they still continue to be an ass and be rude,
right,
that's when you walk away from them and don't give them anything.
Yeah.
Right.
You are not entitled to my service.
No.
Technically, you are, but
a little bit,
but also if you're not going to treat me like a person.
I'm still a human being.
Yes.
You're still a human being.
Yes.
You are not over me. I'm making your food.
Let's talk to each other.
And I would never spit in someone's stuff, or I'd never mess with someone's stuff.
Right.
But there are people out there that will they will mess
fuck your shit up.
Yes. They'll wipe your burger on the floor and put it on the patty, and you wouldn't even know the difference.
You would not know.
You wouldn't even know the difference.
And they're not wearing gloves.
And that's the saddest. That's the saddest thing. It's truly the saddest thing.
What else? Are there any other better ones here? This is a very long one from Starbucks. What do you two think of Starbucks, by the way? Do you have any complaints with Starbucks?
I don't fuck with Starbucks.
You don't fuck with
it's all commercialized, and at this point, it's such a big company. I mean, Caribou, Starbucks, Dunkin', all of their manufacturers and everything else is everything's so processed beyond belief,
right?
That it's just here's as much sugar as you should eat in one day in one drink,
No,
in a small drink.
Yeah.
This isn't real coffee. This isn't coffee. It's coffee flavoring too.
Right.
It's not that's the fucked up part.
Yeah.
The real fucked up part.
Hannah, put a tier list of Dunkin', Caribou, and Starbucks.
Caribou's at the top for me.
That was something I was gonna ask.
But I feel isn't that Minnesota based?
Well, Caribou, I think is.
It might be. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I would go Caribou, Dunkin', Starbucks.
With Starbucks at the bottom.
Caribou, Dunkin', anything else, Starbucks.
I think
I would do Dunkin', Caribou, Starbucks. Okay. I do like Starbucks. I haven't really tried Dunkin' or Caribou's cold foam, but I do like,
you like cold foam?
Starbucks cold foam.
Yeah.
But I like Caribou's like blended drinks. Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And Starbucks always just tastes like burnt. Like it's just burnt always espresso. Like burnt old. Espresso. Yeah, it tastes like burnt espresso. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's bad.
They don't even pull the shots. They're automatic.
That too. Were there any last minute thoughts or things you two wanted to say or mention about the industry?
Tip your service staff, please.
Yes. You know what? Really quick, we don't need to spend very much time on this. Tipping culture is a big topic right now.
Yeah.
And a trend going around the internet right now, which would apply to you two, is a lot of people are going with the attitude of, if I'm standing when I'm ordering, I'm not going to tip. And that would apply to you two. So, thoughts on that? 3, 2, 1. It sounds like, yeah.
I think in our case, we're taking their order and making their coffee and making their waffles.
I think the waffles is a big part. Like, you're not just making drinks, you're also making food.
I understand when people get all like, I'm not going to tip the person who took my order.
If everybody tipped $3-4, every single customer tipped $3-4, that's still a decent amount to walk away with in a day or in like an 8-hour shift. You know, if you served 200 people and they all tip $5, you know, that adds up quick. That really does add up quick.
And even at that same scale, even $1, I'm like, you can't tip $1 fucking dollar for.
I handed you your change back and you couldn't put it in the tip jar.
Yes.
Like you couldn't.
Well, I've had people tip me pennies and shit, like
which is also
like okay, yeah, thanks. I'm throwing that in the drawer and I'm gonna forget about it.
It's better than nothing, but it's not much better.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
also,
okay, sorry, go on.
No. There's been times in my life where like I've gone out to eat because like I cooked all day and I didn't want to do anything and like I didn't want to cook, but I'm not financially stable at the moment. So I'll tip like $3, and even walking away tipping $3, I'm like, man, I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
Man, that sucks. But then I look then that also makes me think about the other people that come in, and it's like maybe they are spending, like maybe they have $20-30 in their account, and they come get a coffee because they just want to get through the day and get to the next paycheck. And that's the hardest part about industry too, is it's usually paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And if you're not working 2 or more jobs, you are likely not living by yourself, and if you are only working one job, you are one of the lucky few that are getting paid at least a decent amount to survive. And you know, it comes to luck too. Like a lot of the places that I've worked at, they don't mind that I take like a something home to eat or whatever, and so I spend less on groceries. So next time I go out, I might tip a little extra or tip a little more because I can. The tipping culture has gotten to so much of an extent where it's like, you know, you go to Valley Fair and they flip the thing over and they're like, you can leave a tip if you want.
That you scanned and paid for yourself at a kiosk.
Yeah, and they're like 15%. And if it's like 3 items, I'll hit nothing. Like I'll hit nothing. But if someone went like tooth and nail and like did like was running around and I saw him doing everything, that's where the tip comes from.
Okay, exactly.
Also, like, that's the thing, because we have, like, that little, like, fridge up at the front.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, we call it like grab and go stuff, where it's like water bottles and like random little Excelsiuses.
Yeah.
I know we had our
well, and they'll see
that
that tip and be like, what do you need that for?
Yeah, we
and
like,
it's like
ring it up, and
that's just the system we use.
I know. And if they're just grabbing a water bottle or a Celsius or like an iced tea or something, we don't even flip that over because we didn't do anything.
Like, I'm like, you brought your water bottle up to the counter.
Like, oh, your total is $108 for a water bottle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, why are we gonna? It's just awkward.
Well, and especially older the person that comes up. There was many times that I'd take an order at Burger Dive and I'd see like the look on their face already, and I was like, they don't want to see that. No. I'll be like, well, I'll take your card and I'll do it myself, and I'll say, we're not expecting anything.
Yeah.
You can just sign or whatever.
Right,
like,
yeah.
please don't think.
These
like,
are just
you
the
guys
steps
just
that
got
you
drinks.
have to go through.
You guys just got
to
drinks,
get your receipt.
and honesty is truly the best policy because
that
like
helps.
I'm like,
that helps.
oh, they only got a couple drinks and they're gonna sit at the bar or go eat somewhere else, and they're like, oh, they saw something that they wanted out of our pop machine, and I was like, okay, don't think that like I'd tell them many times, and I was like, don't think that you have to tip us, please, or I would just say, just sign right here, and I'll I can't do it for you because that's illegal. Illegal, but like I'd flip it over and be like, yeah, don't worry about anything else, sign this and we're all good to go. And they're always like, oh, no one ever says that, and it's like it's awesome.
Randomly, can I go back to one of my questions for one of my favorite regulars?
Let's do it.
I want this to be put in. One of my favorite fucking regulars is literally the person that pays us every fucking week.
She makes my paycheck.
Yep.
Let's go.
You know who we're talking about?
Yes. She gets a tea and a water bottle.
Yep.
And she'll tip us.
chamomile tea. And she's like, put $5 on for you and the staff.
Every single time.
Oh,
Every fucking
Those
time.
People get it.
And
she'd probably been in the service industry or had a partner that was in, or a kid
just
or
a cute
whatever.
old lady.
I don't know how old she is, but
She's always like, you guys, make sure you put 5 on for you and staff. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm like, all I did was put a tea bag in a cup and fill it with hot water while you were paying. Like, this transaction.
Well, that's a lot of people's argument too, but those are the people that make it worth it too.
Right, exactly.
It's just like,
I forgot her name.
or the people that come back and be like, holy shit, that was one of the best things I've ever had.
Yeah,
and
for real.
that makes everything worth it.
Yeah.
That makes the whole reason. Like, I don't like customer service. I don't like having to deal with customers. But when customers come back and they're like, that pizza was the best pizza I ever had, or like, we're definitely coming back. We're definitely coming back. Like, everything here was so good. Yep. Like, of course, I'm just like, oh, thank you, and then I'm like, I'll walk away, and I'm just like,
exactly.
They like my food.
That's what makes it worth it, though. It's not all like. I feel like we talked a lot about the negatives today too, of like the service industry, and like there's a lot of the times the negatives outweigh the positives because they're a little like the positive remarks are a lot less.
Because I want to
but
kill myself.
I always make a point. I always make a point. If I love what I just ate, I'll tell the server. For one, thank you for recommending this. Or I usually ask for a recommendation, and they're not going to recommend you something that they're out of. So asking for a recommendation is not an annoying thing. No, and if servers say like, oh, I hate when people make it on me or whatever, it's like, but you know the menu more than I do. Yes. This is my first time here. Give me some recommendations of what you like, and if I dislike it, I won't get it again. Exactly. And I'm still going to I'll still come back and at least try one of the things that I was looking at, or, or I'll change my mind and be like, I'll have one thing in my head of like, oh, this sounds really good. Yeah. This sounds really good. And I'll be like, but do you have any recommendations? Like, what's your favorite? Yeah. And usually their favorite is one of the best made things, or one of the like, and most of the time it's not even like the quickest thing or like the fastest thing. And a lot of the times I can tell if the server's being honest with me, and they're like, oh, the chicken strips, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. Yeah, like, of course it's I can have chicken strips anyway.
Chicken strips are gas.
Well, of course, I love chicken strips. I'm not saying I don't, but I'm saying I don't want to go out to a new restaurant and be like, let me have the chicken strips with the fries.
I know,
and a side of ranch and honey mustard. Thank you. And that's not my first thought. That's never my first thought. I always ask, what's your coolest, like, what's the coolest thing on the menu that you love the most? And what that isn't going to be a problem for your chef. And I don't think I ever say that or anything. No. It's the love implied. In between.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I think in general this podcast is going to just lean slightly more toward the negative, but that's kind of the point.
But they stick with you more.
Yes. Well, and I want hopefully I want this to be educational. And people who aren't in the industry to be like, look, this is the shit we are going through. Yeah. And this is why we might be in a foul mood a lot of the time. Right. But within that.
Or could be, yeah.
Yes, but within that, little compliments like that like, oh yeah, the food was so
They make
good.
my day.
Or, yeah,
Right.
they might get us through that.
And I drive home, and that's
shift.
I can have 60 shitty customers,
Yeah.
and 2 people can come up and be like, "That was the best thing I ever had."
Exactly.
And
Right.
that's the only thing I'm thinking about on the way home.
Yeah.
And then when I wake up, I'm like, I hope there's at least 2 more people like
Yes.
that tomorrow.
Right, yeah.
I hope.
Well, there you have it.
Wow.
I do not have much more on the docket. I think we've
That's-
covered
Quite a bit.
Any complaints? Any?
Yeah, you guys suck.
Thank you.
Sick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Terrible
Sick.
We
host.
try. We try.
The
I'm
worst
kidding.
We are
podcast
literal
host I've
trash.
ever.
I'm kidding.
Just kidding. had a great
Absolutely
time.
incredible.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
All right. Well, whatever you have left, I have half a sip here of beer. If you have water, if you have something, whatever.
Cheers.
Cheers to the first
Cheers.
episode.
Cheerio.
Cheerio. Down the hatch.
And we're 86th with that.
The episode is 86.
We have been 86.